Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith, and I've got a property for you today. This one is in Izard County, Arkansas. It's been up for sale for a bit. I was asking more money, and nobody bought it, so I'm lowering the price, making it $399. So you get a piece of property for $399, no other fees. You can use a credit card, debit card, checking account information. It's a third of an acre. It's 0.33 acres, so a third of an acre for $399. Let's dive into the computer and take a look at this property. So we're on RealVacantLand.com. This is my website, and that's me down here in the corner. And this is, it just starts talking about the property. $399 for sale. It's got the APN number. You can go check it with the county and everything. It's 0.33 acres. It's got some pictures of maps and some area pictures. It's got a picture of the lot lines on here. You can look at that when you're on the website. I'll put a link down below so you can go to this website and play around with it, look at it, shop the property, whatever. There's a buy now button on there. You can click that. It's $399. I just got that working, so it's the right price and everything. And you can fill out your information, hit the buttons, hit next, and then what I'll do when you do that, well, you still got to put your credit card or debit card or bank or whatever in the next page. But when I see that come through, I'll start working on the paperwork. In this county, it's a one-page deed. They charge $15 to get it recorded. I don't charge you anything. I pay, that's included in the cost. There's a $3.30 stamp tax with the state for this size transaction. I pay that. I go pay the state separately. Get a little piece of paper. I paid that. I put that with the deed. The county charged me an extra $5 for that stupid piece of paper to get it recorded. $3.30 for the tax. County charges $5 to get it recorded. Whatever. Bureaucracy on bureaucracy. You don't have to bother with that stuff. I'll do it all for you. I've done it hundreds of times. I know how to do it. So I'll get that into the state, and they also require that I send them a stamped envelope to send the deed back to you. So I request that they send the deed straight to you, so they record it and they send it to you. Property tax on this is $19.48 is what it's saying. There's some outstanding taxes on this property. I'll pay that off as you buy the property and make sure I get it all paid up to current. This one's coming out of Blue Adventures, one of the companies I sign off on. There's a Home Depot just up the street, not very far from here. There's a Walmart. There's a Lowe's. I should get a picture of the Lowe's in there too, but there's a Lowe's across the street from Home Depot. They almost share a parking lot. And, there's schools in the area, a bunch of public schools. There's a hospital. Golf courses, lakes. There's lots of lakes in this area, and fishing and streams, and there's supplies, gas stations, post office, the basics, bait and tackle. You gotta have your bait and tackle, right? Because there's fishing all over the place. So that looks like a serious bait and tackle. And surprised they don't sell beer. It just looks like classic bait and tackle. Most bait and tackle places live off of selling alcohol or something. But there's so much fish in this area, it looks like they live off of selling just bait and tackle. It's a local farmer's market. And yeah, just some shops. Okay, so there's at the bottom of my ad or listing, whatever you want to call it, information, propaganda. there's some bureaucracy down here too. So I'm trying to make it easy for you guys. There's this old thing. It was recorded in the '60s, and they said, hey, if you're going to build a house in this neighborhood, like, we got some restrictions, and so restrictions are down here. End of page 2. It says they want a single family dwelling, and they want you to have building plans before you build it. That might be a good idea. That's probably a good idea to have some plans before you start building. So they want you to have some plans, and they want you to get it approved by the neighborhood people that it's in conformity and harmony with the external design and location of the area. And so whatever that might be in today's definitions, it's not the '60s anymore, but you ask the locals, hey, does this look like the neighborhood? I'm not building a spaceship with lots of flashing lights on top or something. Okay, good, deal, done. Next. That's easy one. During the construction of a permanent type dwelling, temporary structure may be erected on home site, which must be either removed or replaced with a permanent structure within 6 months. So I think they're saying you can live in an RV for 6 months while you're building your place. The RVs weren't as popular in the 60s. They didn't use that wording. They used temporary structure stuff. Um, and then it must be a permanent structure. And it must have materials composed of like wood and masonry, basic materials on the outside. They don't want crazy stuff. Each dwelling unit must have at least 1,000 square feet of floor space, with at least 800 square feet of the space heated on the first floor level. That's the main thing. You gotta build a house, it's gotta be there, 800 foot heated, 1,000 foot footprint. So you could have carport or something as part of it. And then it just goes into some basic stuff that I don't think would change your mind one way or the other. So those are some basics of the neighborhood. And so if you're good with that, 1,000 square foot and permanent structure, this property is $399. Let's dive into the location of this thing. There's GPS on my website. You click on that, and the website will bring up some maps. You click on it in your phone, it'll give you driving directions straight to the property. And you can drive right up this one. There's paved roads on two sides. It's a corner lot, and Twin Lake Road on one side and Frontier Circle on the other side. So let's make sure it's not behind my head. See if we can get some street view going on here. There we go. Oh, where'd we go with that? Oh, I think we're there. Okay, so this would be your land right here. This is your land, I think. South Manor Drive. I might be lost. No, we're in the wrong intersection. We want to go over here. Come on, Google. There we go. Here's your land. So there's a bit of an open space here. This looks like it'd be a nice spot for a big truck to pull up and dump off supplies you could use to build your house. It's really hard to get a good staging area in lots of these lots. I don't think a lot of people understand that. Where usually you can't put a whole bunch of pallets of cement block and cement bag and pallets of 2x4s and roofing materials and whatever it is you're using to build your house, construction or insulation and plywood and all that kind of stuff. I guess you could probably line the street, put some cones around it, hope the neighbors don't complain. You might get away with it. But if you got a piece of land like this right in the front, you could use that to put your supplies on while you're building your house. So that'd make it nice and easy. It doesn't look like anything to really drive over to get back into the property. I mean, it looks pretty easy to build a driveway in there. Might need a chainsaw, or you could use a bow saw if you got some elbow grease. Go to start hacking on these trees. You probably put a fire out here in this opening. You probably put a fire pit over here and start burning trees and chop them into small pieces, and you got yourself a driveway. You have to dig up the stumps. If you take it slow, if you got the time, you could drill holes in those stumps and pour a bunch of salt in the holes. That's what we used to do in Michigan to kill the tree. Michigan, the trees grow like weeds, so you're trying to get rid of the tree. You just take the biggest bore drill bit that your drill can push and drill a bunch of holes in the fresh cut tree when it's just fresh, like the sap's still flowing. And just take table salt, rock salt, use kind of salt you use on the driveway in the winter. Dump that in all the holes. The rain will fill it up. Tree will soak it up. If you got the hose around, you got some water, fill up the holes with that. Tree will soak that water up and rot right out. And that'll be easy to remove the stump. So if you got time, do that season ahead of time. But if you're trying to do it right away, I mean, you're gonna get out the axe and the shovel and pull those stumps, or just hook them up to the back of your truck. And there's your property. You can go build a cabin in the woods. Easy access on either side. Let's see if we can drive up the other road. There's some good looking trees in here, nice and green. What time of year is this? This is May of 2008. Somebody drove through here with this camera. There's power lines going over here. So you got power lines on this side. So it looks like a little higher elevation here. Might be a little bit harder to get a driveway in there. I'd probably try to do the driveway from the other side. But it looks like go up the hill and maybe look down at the property. Yeah, so you'd be back in there. Might be a little bit of a hill. You might be able to put a walkout basement in there if the hill's steep enough. Maybe not that steep, but maybe to get back in there and see what it looks like. So there's a property, $399. where else can you buy properties for $399? RuralVacantLand.com. I got a bunch of them. I'll keep serving them up. If this isn't the right one for you, I mean, just subscribe, keep watching. I'll keep bringing you more properties. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Luke Smith, RuralVacantLand.com.